Hello and welcome back to Talking Giants, brought to you by SeatGeek. Today is November 7th, 2025, and our New York Football Giants are traveling to Chicago, Illinois to face those Bears, the Bears, they are a team that started 0-2. They are 5-1 since week 3. They have like a top 5 offense in the National Football League. They have momentum. They are fun to watch. But Shaun, I'll tell you what, man, it's another week where obviously we feel doom and gloom about this team. And, I feel like there's even so many bigger conversations that need to happen about this team more than just who they're even playing this week. But still, there's 8 weeks left and maybe even 7 for not keeping track. Jaxson Dart is fun. And I think this is another opponent where even with questions on the offense of what you have going skill position-wise, I think this is another week and another opportunity for Jaxson Dart to have yet another good game. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, and I completely agree with you. And to further that, a little fun potentially on the horizon if you're looking ahead. I know Dart was asked about this. We might get a snow game on Sunday as well.
Really?
Yeah, that's so right now in Chicago and Green Bay, the Midwest, so there's 2 games on Sunday's docket. They are calling for at least AM snow and wind to taper off in the afternoon into flurries. That could shift. We are full disclosure. I could be transparent here. We're recording this on a Thursday and it could change. But I'll tell you this, Justin, at 2-7, if you're giving me a snow game for a little fun on Sunday and watching Jaxson Dart run around in it, he mentioned growing up in Utah playing in the snow, sign me up. That would add to the fun.
Another test.
Yes.
Another checkbox that we want to check off for Jaxson Dart, since that's all that this year's about.
Now watch it be 60 and sunny, and this is irrelevant. But either way,
this is what happens when you don't have Danny King as your weatherman.
or he'd just get it wrong anyway. Okay,
he would just get it wrong. Now, but Shaun, again, so we'll see about the weather, and if it's snowing. But even like from just based off of what you said, even if it's flurries, that shouldn't prohibit you from really throwing the ball, because this Bears defense, I think they can be had. They are a defense that is forcing a lot of turnovers, which I kind of even like Jaxson Dart going up against a defense that could force a lot of turnovers, because there was one game where we had 5 turnovers in a row. He throws a couple interceptions, and he's really kept the turnovers down ever since then. So, hey, if you could take care of the ball, be responsible with the ball, not take the back-breaking sacks, he's done a solid job all throughout his starting tenure so far of not making that back-breaking mistake outside of one game, right? But this Bears defense, they also allow a lot of explosive plays. So they take chances, and it works for them, but they also can get bit by it, and they allow those big plays. And I'm going to be interested to see, with Daniel Bellinger coming back full participant in Wednesday's practice, I'm going to be interested to see what kind of personnel. Are we going with 12? Are we going with 11? Is Theo Johnson ever going to be held accountable for dropping the ball performance-wise and maybe being put on the bench? How are the Giants going to approach it that way? I'm excited to see it offensively. Obviously, feelings are different on the defensive side.
Yes, no question. And obviously this is a Bears team that at the trade deadline had to go get, Tryon, whatever he's changed his name to since the draft, to be a pass rusher because they lost to Dedebo. And this is an opportunity, I think, for Jaxson Dart to, kind of play the pocket game that he's been playing. When it breaks down, go find scramble plays. I'm not worried about the turnovers as well in a spot like this with a quarterback like this. And I do think it's an advantageous matchup for the Giants. I think the difference here, Justin, from what we saw a week ago, as much as the final numbers spoke to, a solid enough game for Jaxson Dart, they did start fast with that first drive touchdown. You got to escape here with more than 7 to 10 points, I think, in the first half to really set a tone, because this is a team, and we're going to get to our defense later on in the podcast, where I think that, the more you score early in the game, the more pressure it's going to take off a defense that feels ready to quit at any single moment.
Yeah, you got to...
I'm not talking defense, but I think it ties into offense.
No, for sure. But, I mean, it needs to be... And it's so crazy that we're saying this in 2025, knowing the preseason expectations that we had about this Giants defense. Like this Giants, and I also can't believe we're saying this about the Giants offense and not like looking at ourselves being like, you're crazy saying this. The Giants need to go in this game expecting that they need to score 30 points to possibly have a chance to win.
Feels good to have a quarterback where we can actually think that's possible too, which I like.
Yeah. And without Cam Scatterbo and without Malik Neighbors, and I still don't think that is a full-on crazy thing. But it's also the pressure is on the offense that regardless of what the defense is doing, Shaun, the last 2 weeks against the Eagles and then against the 49ers, we've looked at the Giants' offensive performance and we've said, it hasn't even been that bad, but it didn't even feel like they could get like in a rhythm of the game.
Sure.
Because the defense had just kind of had them out of there right away. But I'm with you. Like the expectation for this offense is now increased because of what your defense is doing, and you're just going to have to score at will. No field goals, even though, again, we don't know who the kicker is going to be. Neck injury flares up because, of course, naturally, you got to score touchdowns. And then you also maybe have to make extra points. That would maybe be nice too. Find somebody that can do that.
Yeah, and as much as and I know that you have it here and we'll discuss, the Bears' pass defense is really what can be had here. They're 22nd against the pass, 14th against the rush. I would like to see more carries here to Singletary and Tracy to try to set the tone. I obviously think that Tyrone Tracy is playing injured here. I mentioned on the recap pod, coming back to the sideline constantly with a shoulder dangling. But, set the tone. If it's going to be a little bit of a cold weather game here in Chicago, let it be a Devin Singletary game. Do a lot of the read option stuff you've been doing. You talked about running out of the shotgun and everything that they've done with that. To me, I don't think you sit back and just hope that Jaxson Dart's going to drop back because his pass defense is more susceptible and throw the ball, 40 times in the game and do this. I think this needs to be a tone-setting run game for the New York Giants as well.
I actually think they've been going a little bit more under center the last couple of weeks, and that's been like a nice sign. Like,
right,
Jaxson Dart fumbles against the Chargers, and then you're thinking, oh man, when is the next time we're really going to see like an under center offense? And I was fine with it. Because historically, the last 2 years, the Giants have been much better running out of the shotgun than under center. But I think that was mainly a Tyrone Tracy thing. I do think Devin Singletary can be, kind of the runner that the Giants need of just put your head down and get me 4 or 5 yards. And you even saw some shiftiness with him last week. So this is kind of like what I want to ask you. There is an opportunity to run the ball. I do agree with that. And here's a stat. The Bears defense has played cover 2 on almost 25% of dropbacks this season, the 4th highest rate in the NFL. So they're playing cover 2 a lot. They're playing with those 2 high safeties, and that is an advantageous front that the Giants should run the ball. But my question to you is, who is going to be the lead back and who should be the lead back? Should it be Devin Singletary or Tyrone Tracy at this point?
So I still think that we're throwing away the idea that Tyrone Tracy is very good too early here. I think we forget that he was really, really good last year and the Cam Scadaboo stuff kind of took over. But I just don't think Tyrone Tracy's healthy. And I think Tyrone Tracy is not complaining about it. I think Tyrone Tracy is trying to be, I think, what we miss from NFL players, if you will, just head down. I'm going to play hurt. I'm going to play through injuries. But he just, I know he had that burst versus Denver through a wide open hole. He has not been the same threat. Devin Singletary, for as angry, as upset as I got at him last year with the constant fumbles and just kind of looking like a plodding back, he's been shifty a little bit here the last couple of weeks when he's gotten the minimal opportunities he's gotten. I know he out carried Tracy last game. I think that I'm interested to see. You're paying Devin Singletary enough guaranteed money. I think Devin Singletary should be right now until Tracy shows that he's healthy. Otherwise, be a guy that's getting the ball 13, 14 times a game right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I'm still giving Tyrone Tracy an opportunity to show, like, if he is more healthy, if he can get some momentum, if he can get some positive carries under his belt, then ride the hot hand. And I think Tyrone Tracy gives you a higher ceiling. But also, no, Devin Singletary is the hotter hand right now. And if he's more healthy and if he can provide if he's just a better running back right now, then you kind of have to go with him. So I'm definitely splitting carries and where my brain goes to next is, are you running out of 11 or are you running out of 12? Because it feels like the Giants, with Daniel Bellinger being out, you have to go towards 11. When both tight ends, Bellinger and Theo Johnson, are healthy, it really feels like they have leaned into 12 personnel. Mm-hmm. But thanks to Research Rick for tweeting this out earlier in the week, Wan'dale Robinson leads the league in receiving yards from the slot, 90 more than the next player, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Chicago has allowed the 4th most yards per attempt on slot targets. So this could feel, ideally this could be a big Wan'dale Robinson game, but in order to kind of put somebody in the slot, you kind of need to run out of 11, and then you're taking a tight end off the field, and that has also worked for the Giants too. So, Shaun, what are you looking for them to do?
Here's a random thought, Justin. How about we get creative and actually have a balance between the two and keep the defense guessing? How about that? Wouldn't that be a novel idea? Instead of Daniel Bellinger's not available, so let's go 90% 11 personnel. How about you play to the quarterback's strengths with the 12 personnel in the passing game while also not ignoring the run game when you go to 11 personnel? It's totally okay in 2025 to run a creative offense where you're mixing and matching the two and then getting a balance. And guess what that does? That keeps a defense guessing depending on packages. So I know that's a very sarcastic answer, but it's also the right answer in my opinion. I want more balance between the two packages.
Yeah, and I think you can. The more that we're starting to see under center stuff, I think that's where you can have some fun, especially getting under center in 12. And if they feel like they can throw out of 12,
which they should,
like they have, that's right. Been like Daniel Bellinger. Like if I were to tell you, I don't know if there's stats to back this up. I didn't look it up, but eye test. Daniel Bellinger has been like the most reliable deep target for the Giants this year. Like,
and make no mistake. Make no mistake, he's tight end 1 to me now with the soft hands and everything. He has to be.
So let me ask you this. First play of the game and the Giants run out of 11. And like you're putting Daniel Bellinger at tight end and Theo Johnson on the bench.
I am. And I'm not throwing away Theo Johnson's career. He clearly, obviously, you see the good, right? He's had a couple of these touchdowns. He had that play that iced the game versus the Chargers, but he is not reliable enough with his hands. For every great touchdown he has 2 of those 3 plays like we saw on Sunday, that this has become a pattern now for me. And look, I don't know what went into it at the end of the game. It was kind of a throwaway because the game was out of hand, but suddenly the starters were out there and you saw Theo Johnson sit down for Fedoni at the end of the game. Was that a benching? Was that something else? Was he banged up? I don't know. But if I'm starting a situation here where Daniel Bellinger is healthy, I think in 11 personnel, I'm going to Daniel Bellinger. I think he's earned that right. I think
this is a larger conversation too. I think it's also just like an accountability thing.
Right? Yes. Yeah. You're not making plays, and this is the problem, a deep-rooted issue with the Giants. Darius Slayton's a captain. He's allowed to drop every big pass thrown to him. Theo Johnson, basically Joe Shane wanted to act like he was Mark Bavaro, and what a great pick. They can't sit him down because then that just ruins part of the draft class they've talked about for so long and how great a pick that was. We already know the Deonte Banks issue on the other side. There is no accountability. You're allowed to make a million mistakes, and you're allowed to make them because depth gets tested so horribly that, of course, the only guys that stay healthy on this team seem to be the guys that constantly are making mistakes.
Yeah. Shaun, I do want to talk about...
Also, I know you're going to talk about just real quickly because you had mentioned at the beginning, it threw me off a little bit. Bellinger was listed as full, but then Dan Duggan is saying there's uncertainty with Bellinger and Adebo. So I'm a little thrown off on the reporting there.
He was listed as a full participant. I didn't.
And then you have Dan Duggan going after practice. There's still uncertainty with Bellinger. So now, I don't know. I just said to say I'm going to be really annoyed now if Bellinger's not playing.
Yeah, typically, even when somebody's limited in practice, it kind of gives you the hope that they're probably going to play. Let alone if they're listed as a full participant, like, okay, they're back,
Right. Oh God.
Meanwhile, Jermaine Illuminor was a do not practice. So we're probably going to see Marcus Bowe again, which I don't mind. Hey, it's all part of the evaluation, right? I want to see Marcus Bowe in doses. I don't want to put well,
it's also not dire now that you have a swing tackle that you want to see get reps too. So right. Just like when Thomas missed earlier in the year, I'm okay with that. That's you're dealing from a position of depth. That's not like losing all the corners and receivers they've lost.
Yeah. JMS was a do not practice, and it sounds like there's like a couple different things going on for him.
Mm-hmm. Which is a shame because, of course, this is the year where JMS at least takes a step to look like a playable center. And now that he's had, multiple different injuries, that sucks. But Schlottman's been fine when he stepped in.
Yeah. Who else on the offense side? Bo Collins was do not practice. So,
oh my God, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do? Play Jalen High? Oh wait, Lil Jordan Humphrey's out of practice squad elevation, so you lose that big body blocker that is typically good for you. Don't worry, Jalen Hyatt's going to be a return man. And then there's a couple more injuries on the defensive side as well. We can get to that when we get to that. But Shaun, I do want to talk to you about Shopify first because today's Bears preview, not Bears, is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partner with them here at John Boy Media. John Boy Media has relaunched our merch store on Shopify with our new /line site, and it was a dream. We brought the ideas, and Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life really is a touchdown when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and the suite of AI tools are a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way you can build and manage a business. You'll have your own AI assistant guiding you on everything. Directions, reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. So if you're ready to take that business idea from a draft to a reality, it's time to head over to Shopify.com/giants. Shopify is the perfect partner for any business roster. So make sure that they're on yours today. Hopefully Shopify doesn't get mad that I'm saying idea. I don't know. I just love saying it like that. Makes me feel like I'm an old man.
Oh dear, idea.
Idea.
Do you do oil or Earl?
Oh, oil.
Okay.
That's a
toilet or turlet.
All right, well, that's new. I never heard of that.
You never heard of turlet?
No, I'm gonna start saying that now.
Man, you didn't grow up with enough old Italians in your life, I tell you.
No, I didn't. I'm from New Jersey, so I'm technically there's no Italian blood in me, but because I'm from New Jersey, I lived here all my life. I'm automatically 25% Italian. I'm the one that made up that rule.
You do, Justin. You do look like a human version of Gabagool. To be fair,
thank you. Had some in my life. All right, again, before we maybe put a bow on the offense,
a Marcus bow
on the offense. I'm excited about Jaxson Dart. Excited about Jaxson Dart. The one thing that I have in my notes, man. The one thing I want to have in my notes that I do want to mention is that the splits of when Jaxson Dart is under pressure / blitzed and when the pocket is kept clean. Numbers are very, very good when the pocket is kept clean, and the numbers aren't as great when he's under pressure compared to some of the best guys in the league. But I will say, eye test tells you that Jaxson Dart has made some of his best throws on third down when he's been under pressure. But still, a team that is blitzing at the 10th highest rate in the NFL this season, I want to continue Jackson. I want to continue to see good things out of Jaxson Dart, and I'm kind of confident that I will, Shaun.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think it's going to be advantageous. I also want to see him take advantage of a situation where, can I declare my Morass player of the week here on offense?
Oh, yes, please.
You mentioned a stat that you walked me right into here with Wan'dale Robinson. Quite frankly, I thought last week we didn't get enough. Like Wan'dale Robinson's running backwards at times on certain plays. It just felt like a Sonoris Moss type effort. We want to go the other way. And did you have this in the sheet? I got to scramble through. How about Nick McLeod getting snaps in the slot as well here?
Yes, it's a revenge game.
Okay. Can Mike Kafka and Brian Dable take the most reliable wide receiver the Giants still have left and line him up on a guy who was very pissed off when he left here because, he had to be handed stuff even though the Giants claimed him, and just attack Nick McLeod as much as possible here with Jaxson Dart and kind of turn this into like the who was the corner that Victor Cruz got into it with in 2011 at San Francisco where that was just kind of like a pitch and catch game? Who was that again?
I don't know.
You don't remember that NFC Championship game where he was going after? I
was 13 years old. I remember.
Were you that young in 2011, Justin? Yeah. I feel like I'm working with a baby.
Born in '98.
Anyway. Whoever the corner was did the Victor Cruz dance, and it was like a revenge spot early in the regular season.
Yes, during the regular season. Yeah.
And I'm way overhyping a Wan'dale Robinson, Nick McLeod matchup.
Don't be bringing up that.
I say that to say that was just a constant Victor Cruz pitch and catch game. Wan'dale Robinson, Morass player of the week, go after Nick McLeod all day long, and you get the last laugh on one of your former players for a second if you're the New York Giants.
They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, too, who I hate him. He's
playing a lot of safety, too, so.
I hate him. They have him listed as a nickel corner in the, on the depth chart. So, man, I do not like him. Like, there are not a lot of players in the NFL that I will say I do not like, especially, if I'm not watching you every Sunday, whatever. I just think he's a dirtbag.
Yes. Scum. Human scum.
Yeah, and with Wan'dale Robinson, I went on my guy the Giant Report. I think there's so many Giants. The Giants this, the Giants that. I was on.
Have you heard of Talking Giants?
Have you heard of Talking Giants? I really want to get this right. The Giant Topic. The Giant Report is another really good guy. The Giant Topic. I was on his show, and we were talking about Wan'dale Robinson. And I was kind of looking this up, and I had a really good question that I asked him that I want to ask you. Shaun, do you know where Wan'dale Robinson is ranked in receiving yards this year?
Overall NFL, period. Yeah. 18th.
Oh my God, that's a really good guess. He's 17th.
Okay. That makes sense.
But so you just poo-pooed on my exercise because the whole point was, I think maybe 30th, 40th, because that if you were to, I think if you were to have the general Giants fan guess where he is, I think they would be closer to that.
To be fair, we already revealed a great stat from Research Rick. If he has 90 more receiving yards out of the slot than Amon-Ra St. Brown, the next one, my guess was going to be he has to overall in receiving yards be top 20.
That's true. That's a very good point. Should have asked, bad radio should have asked you that earlier.
That's okay.
Then did the stat.
Justin,
so
it just shows you got to listen. You pay attention to every word on the show.
That's true. My overall point is that it doesn't feel like he's having 17th leading receiver in the league type of impact. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like that.
I agree, but the Giant offense is also weird. Like you look up at the end of the games and point totals are there. Also remember, this is an NFL this year where passing yardage across the board is down overall. A lot of people point to the idea of the field position off of kickoffs factoring into that. But just if everybody we trust outside of Wan'Dale Robinson's dropped 1 million passes and Malik Neighbors has now been out weeks, the yardage has to have come from Wan'Dale Robinson, even if he's not racking up 100-yard receiving games at a clip. And he also had the big Dallas game as well that's added to it.
Yeah. I want to check where he is in yards per route run. I love that.
And it's been two different Wan'Dales, right? Like he was kind of getting that Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett treatment in those first 3 weeks. And it's been more back to the Wan'Dale, like quick slot stuff here with Jaxson Dart since.
Yeah. Yards per route run. This is okay. So this is helpful. This is helpful to my theory. Yards per route run, Wan'Dale Robinson's 43rd, which makes more sense. Like I said, like 30 to 40.
Right.
And that efficiency wise makes more sense rather than just, he's 17th in the league. Let's just give him that Khalil Shakir contract. Good conversation. Wan'Dale Robinson will be a fascinating conversation to have over the offseason if and when Joe Schoen is retained as GM. If he's not retained as GM, he's probably gone, and that makes the conversation a lot easier.
We'll see.
All right, Shaun, I do want to give a quick shout out to Nike because we are an affiliate partner of Nike this year. Every time somebody sees me, I'm wearing this Kobe Bryant Mamba hoodie. And Nike.
Didn't I just see that in Sunday?
Yeah, you did. I love this. I wanted a black hoodie. That's what I wanted. When Nike said, here's $150, go spend money. And I said, I want a black hoodie. And I didn't know it was the Kobe Bryant, but I love it. So thank you to Nike. We're affiliate partners with them. Check out the link, our affiliate link in the description below to shop some amazing Nike gear. All right, Shaun, the Giants defense versus the Bears offense. I bet you that we are very different on how we feel about them compared to our Giants offense. Because I am not looking forward to watching the Giants defense against this Bears offense. If anything, I'm just excited to see the Bears offense because after watching them versus the Bengals last week, Shaun, this is a unit that's playing very physical football right now. They have linemen that are looking to put people on the ground, including Darnell Wright, who did it a couple times last week. They have tight ends that are blocking an open space.
Loveland's gotten better each and every week. Obviously, he was the offensive player of the week last week, I believe. That's right.
They're going downfield looking to finish blocks. Kyle Monungai has brought a physicality to this run game that's fun to watch as well. They look like they are an offense that is out for blood, Shaun. And it looks like if there is any hesitation of the Giants, if there is any soft mentality, if there's any soft play, that this Bears offense is going to step on their hearts.
I agree. Okay, so this is kind of we're looking at this from a Giants point of view. Obviously, we're talking Giants, and we've talked about the softness of this defense. So let me just take that real quickly before pivoting to my Bears point. Getting Javon Holland and Cordell Flott at a minimum back in this game is beyond important. Yeah. It allows you to put Dane Belton more naturally to that third safety/hybrid linebacker role, which helps against the run badly. Javon Holland allows Tyler Nubin not to be like the leader back there on the back end taking bad angles, which is just horrifying. And Cordell Flott, for as light of a player as he's been, I mean, he's been an impact tackler at times in the run game around the edge. Not that you want to see Corey Black or Tay Banks, but as long as the Debo's that you're going to have to at least play one of them. I'd like them to get more creative and put Dru Phillips on the outside on first and second downs and not get completely attacked with the outside run. But I do think getting those bodies helps, Justin. And I do think that now it's been back-to-back weeks, and I love the Brian Burns quote about, I'm tired of hearing about it. It's nut up and shut up time. Like, that's a freaking leader. That's not Dexter Lawrence's comments. That's a guy that has some freaking pride. And at the very least, on each side of the ball, you have Jaxson Dart with pride, Brian Burns with a lot of pride. I do think there'll be some Giants that kind of follow that lead, but you can't have your will broken and have Monangai go for 167 yards. On the flip side, looking at this from a Bears point of view, as good as that was versus a defense that's worse than ours last week in the Bengals, this is still an offense that went up and put up, 16 points the week earlier versus the Baltimore Ravens in a game that they lost to Snoop Huntley was quarterbacking at the time. The Bears are a much better version than the New York Giants. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they have not graduated into trust them week in and week out territory to completely build momentum. And that's where the fork in the road thing comes in mind with this Bear offense this week. If we were doing Talking Bears this week, we're looking at this matchup with a giant defense and going, man, you want to prove to us that this is still not a who knows what we're getting out of every week? You go do that. I think this is advantageous for the Giants. I think that there can be doubts with the Bears because they do get frustrating week in and week out with their lack of consistency and changing every week. So I think that's an ultimate wild card here, Justin. It's just that the Bears have not fully arrived in trust them every week territory to get this done.
We've said the word advantageous 3 times this episode. Take a shot for every time you hear it.
I'm sorry. Maybe that's my crutch now.
I said it first.
Oh, you did? Okay, too. Okay.
I opened up Pandora's box there.
Would you agree, though? I mean, as good as the Bears have been post their first couple games, Ben Johnson, you see the signs. Caleb Williams isn't really turning the ball over, but they're not where I think Ben Johnson and this offense still thought they would be, despite the fact that they scored 47 points on a hapless Bengal team last week.
Right. And if anything, I look at that Bengal effort, and I'm even just forget who they played, right? I was just watching their effort. I think they took that Bengal game as all right, well, we just got our asses kicked by the Ravens, who have not been playing well, and especially that defense. We only put up 16 points against the bad Ravens defense. Forget the Ravens offense. The way that they played against the Bengals last week, who I view at least the Bengals defense in a similar vein to the Giants defense of just we have no answers for anything. We have no answers for anything, and we are not doing anything to help out an offense that is trying to score points. If anything, the Bengals may be doing it at a higher clip than the Giants offense. The way that the linemen were moving and killing guys out of bounds and tackles that are pulling out in space. If this were a team that is, we're going to run it up the gut and we're going to take it to you, and they were succeeding that way, it's a different story. Do you want to know the NFL team that averages the most yards per game outside the tackles, and they have the second most attempts outside the tackles this year? It's the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
Not match up well against what the Giants are doing. And even, just like the 49ers last week, it got to a point where the Giants started to defend those outside pitches and those outside zone runs well. Well, then they started to funnel things inside, and then the inside was open too. So the Bears are probably going to try and establish going to the outside, and then the second that the Giants try and defend that and they have an answer for that, they're going to go to the inside, and they're going to have success there too.
I would expect the Giants to be better on the outside just by getting Flott and Holland back along. I know that poo-pooing that, but I do think that has been a mate. Think about when everything went awry for this defense was when Adebo and Holland got lost, and then you lost Flott in the Eagle game. Giants have been terrible up front regardless in stopping the run and the inside stuff. So I don't think it's a magic wand, but I do think they will be better just by getting better bodies out there.
Yeah. I mean, they were even bottom 3 league worse with them too. So, but yeah, I'm not acting like it suddenly gets fixed, but I think it will be better than it's looked is all I'm saying. What do you think about Caleb Williams?
I think that Caleb Williams is going to be a frustrating player for Bears fans and their front office to figure out, where he'll probably get a second contract. I don't think he's going to ever be elite. Frankly, I think Jaxson Dart will have a better career. I think he's going to have games where he looks awesome and you're like, wow, that's the Caleb Williams. And then he's going to have games, and this is where you're going to kind of have to bank on hope, where you're like, man, you just didn't do enough, and the team's settling for field goals. I think he's a very frustrating quarterback that I think will ultimately grow frustrating with Ben Johnson.
I think I came into this year saying he's too talented to fail. And I am so happy. I'm happy that he is finding some sort of success, and this offense has been so explosive since week 3. His fastball. I'm just
when he zips it, dude, he could zip it. I mean,
I'm just so excited to watch him play. And I have some, friends in the NFL world, just, hey, they do good stuff. I do good stuff. And, we just talk ball sometimes. And there was a tweet that I put out sometime this NFL season being like, there has to be some sort of metric out there. You know how baseball has exit velo and, baseball, every mile per hour is tracked and launch angle, things like that. I'm like, there has to be some sort of measurement out there, metric out there.
Release rate.
Even if it's not available to the public about like exit velo coming off the quarterback.
It's release rate. He's third in the league.
You have that?
I just made that up. I just made that up. I want to see how gullible you are.
I think it actually is like top 3, top 2, maybe he's even first.
I made that up. I wanted to see you as Mr. Stacko. I don't know release rate. Where did you get that from?
It's like, what? It's like a gold mine. Yeah. So, and then I had somebody DM me being like, yeah, this is a real thing. And Caleb Williams is actually like one of the best guys in the league.
No, it's pretty. Look, when he's on, it's very pretty leaving his hands, but there's something disconnected there because it's just not consistent.
No, he's not.
And he has all these weapons at his disposal and a great offensive coach. It's worked better. He's clearly better than he was a year ago. But wouldn't you expect by year 2, like there would just be more of that step by Caleb by this point? Like there's still something off and missing here with Caleb.
No, for sure. Like sometimes he just has horrible misses.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I think it's when you think that you can make every throw on the planet from every platform, and when you kind of can, sometimes it's the little things that go awry. And that's what makes like the best quarterbacks in the NFL the best, right? Is their footwork, is their consistency and their mechanics. Like even Mahomes, who can make every, throw from every platform. I think there's a consistency in the chaos, which is I think he exactly works on that kind of stuff. And that's
consistency in the chaos. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, man, I'm excited to watch Caleb. Romo Dunze is really, really good against man coverage. Dunes is really, really good against man coverage, and that's exactly what the Giants run. He didn't record a single catch on 3 targets last week against the Bengals, which is kind of crazy considering they put up 49 points. So he's looking for a bounce back game. Their top 3 receivers, Odunes, Zacchaeus, and DJ Moore, I think they all have 31 catches.
Mm-hmm. They're kind of like the Eagles in a way of, you don't know which receiver is going to have the big game on any given Sunday. It's a pick your poison spot.
Yeah,
this could easily be the Adunze game after last week.
Shaun,
you go with Dunes, by the way, not Adunze. Interesting.
Well, it's either or. I've heard both.
Yeah, it's like a Tyrod to Rod thing.
I think it's Odunze.
That's the way I've always heard it.
Okay, great. Well, you're in radio. You have to know names. So
that's not true. Have you ever listened to Mad Dog Russo?
Well, Shaun, who's your Shaun Morash want more of your ass defensive player?
It's Dru Phillips. What the hell happened? How come he played so few snaps a week ago? I can't control whether they get creative on the outside, inside versatility, but one thing that cannot happen is when you're in nickel, have these back-breaking third down runs. I want Dru Phillips to step up, make these tackles, and just can you not on third down take the bad penalties that we've seen all year if Zacchaeus is going deep, something like that. I want a good sound tone-setting game where Dru Phillips on the field now flots back, where we don't have to worry about that. I've seen enough Nubin failure. I've seen enough Theo Johnson failure to know that draft class, if Dru Phillips goes backwards as well, and I know Dru Phillips is a very, people like him, some people don't. I want more out of your ass for the rest of the year out of Dru Phillips on this team to make me feel like this draft class at least deserves still some flowers here.
Yeah. All right, Shaun.
I guess you could throw Nubin in there as well as far as more your ass, but I'm kind of quickly giving up the Tyler Nubin stuff until he gets a new defensive coordinator and instills some confidence in him.
That's kind of why I sarcastically said, who do you want to see more out of? Because there's 9 players on this defense that you want. If there's 11 guys on the field, there's 9 of them that you want to see more out of. So it's a pick your poison. All right, Shaun, let's talk about SeatGeek before we get into the touchdown draft and segments. SeatGeek is back, and it's better than ever this year. The SeatGeek's here. Test truck commercials are starting.
Yes, they are.
Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. Football is in full swing in the NBA and NHL. They are also ramping up as well. Go New York, go New York, go. With SeatGeek, the MLB's official ticket marketplace, your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app in the world. There is no one better. You want to know why? Because there are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and so much more. And you want to know why they're the number one rated ticketing app in the world? Not only do they have every event, but they make you getting a good deal pretty damn easy, because each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So you know if you are getting a good deal, just because look for those green dots, because green means good and red means bad. And you know we came through for you guys. You can use code GIANTS2025 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code GIANTS2025. GIANTS2025. All right, the touchdown draft, Shaun.
Let's go. So where are we at after last week? Update me on the scores here, because I'm trying to go through on
0 for 3.
Okay, and did I go 2 for 3, or am I losing it?
You went 2 for 3.
Okay.
You got Christian McCaffrey, whose odds looked at the updated odds.
Were terrible, but you had to do it.
Minus 205.
Okay.
Which I think is like the worst odds that somebody has scored on this year.
Yeah, but I needed a win in the bankroll. You take
and then Jaxson Dart. And then Theo Johnson was at plus 190.
Okay.
And you got that.
All right, but I think based on money made, you still have a pretty sizable lead.
Oh,
here, right?
Very much so. I have 1,640 total points in the touchdown draft on the year, and then you have 799.
All right, I mean, it's doable. Let's go.
Doable.
Let's go.
You gave me a half year lead. Basically.
That's fine. That's fine.
Now you're coming back. All right, Shaun. I believe you had the first pick last week.
I did.
So now it would be not very advantageous of me to go in the top 5. Or do I want to just go in the top 5 and get it over with? Or do I just want to take the local kid, Kyle Monangai, with my first pick at minus 155? I'm taking the local kid. I'm taking the Rutgers kid. I like him. He's fun. It was very clear and obvious that he was going to be a very good football player. And immediately when he went to the Bears with Ben Johnson, you knew that he was going to be good.
Yeah, and I can't not do the Chris Carlin voice of Rutgers. Monangai! I can't not think that every time I see his name. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to go inside the top 5 here because I have free reign. I'm giving you a guy that I think is going to take another leap forward here in this Giant offense. I'm taking Devin Singletary at plus 275.
Love it.
I think he'll be used around the goal line.
Love it. I feel like when I haven't drafted this guy, he's possibly scored. And when I have, he's gotten 2 inches, 2 yards away from scoring. Give me Daniel Bellinger at plus 500. Now, I'm siding not with Dan Duggan here. I'm siding with that he was a full participant in practice and he's going to play. So this will be really bad for me if he just somehow doesn't play.
That's okay. Okay. I don't have to go top 5 here, so I can keep this rolling. You know what? You know what? No. Hot hand. Bears have been using him. Give me Colston Loveland at plus 245.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, what a game last week, huh?
Yeah. Got him in fantasy. No biggie.
No biggie. All right, now. Ideal world, I would love to go.
And for those of you screaming right now as you're listening to the pod, we should have probably mentioned this. I thought about this last week. It's Monangai, Swift, Tracy, Adunze, Dart, our top 5 in odds on DraftKings. We
do list on if you're a fan of YouTube, we do list I have Jeff include the screenshot of the odds on the screen.
Okay. But yeah, in podcast room, you might be going, why are they not picking the obvious guys? Because we're only allowed to pick one of those guys and then you're out.
Yes, that is the rule of the touchdown, the brand new Talking Giants touchdown draft 2.0. I would love to go Romo Dunze, but I can't because it is against the rules for me to do so. And I don't know, DJ Moore and Caleb, their relationship is very weird.
It is.
It's like DJ Moore is very good, and DJ Moore should be so much better. The vibe's weird between them. Do I go Theo? I don't double up on tight ends. Do I just cover all my bases with the Giants tight ends? Do I go Olamide Zaccheaus? Did I even say his name? Has Luther Burden scored a touchdown this year? I love Luther Burden, by the way.
He might have. I'm trying to picture.
Luther
Not for nothing.
One touchdown.
And now I don't know how you feel about the game, but if you think the Bears have any hope of blowing us out, Roschon Johnson at plus 850, like kind of tack on third, fourth quarter touchdown, not a bad bet.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I have a big lead and I can. I'm drafting Luther Burden because I loved him. Loved him out of school. I had some questions on if Luther Burden was like closer to Treylon Burks at Arkansas, where Treylon Burks just didn't know the playbook because all he did was just run screens and go routes and he just didn't do anything else. So it's either like A, this offense is really bad and this coaching is really bad, or B, he just doesn't know the playbook. So that's all that they have this athletic freak do. So that was a little bit of Luther Burden, but I honestly think it was the quarterback and system that was really bad. So I love that he takes Chicago as well.
Okay, so that leaves me to wrap this up, right? So I have a top 5 pick available. I'm going to protect myself here. Giants are going to score on the goal line in the run game. So give me Jaxson Dart at plus 185. If Singletary doesn't, Jaxson Dart will.
Love that. Love that. So here are the teams. I got Kyle Monunga at minus 155. I got Daniel Bellinger at plus 500 and Luther Burden at plus 400. My two guys on the back end, if they score, they're gonna give me some nice profit.
They are.
Shaun, you took Devin Singletary at plus 275. You took Colston Loveland at plus 245 and Jaxson Dart at plus 185.
I love it. All
right, you got to get back into it.
Let's go.
I may think of something new if it gets to the point where it continues to be like you're 800 off. I may try and think of something to get more points on a weekly basis.
I mean, we could we could talk about this off air, but there's other things besides touchdowns you can bet on DraftKings in terms of player props.
That is true.
Maybe we kind of draft a DraftKings player prop parlay or something.
Now we're talking. All right, now it's time for spread picks. It is time for me to read this spreadsheet and try and not piss off Shaun.
Thank you.
Last week, Shaun, both of us did not have a good week. I had a 3-5 week, and you had a 2-6 week.
Oh,
I did it. I didn't say 3 for 8 like it's.
No, you didn't. I'm very proud of you. You gave the record the right way.
Thank you. Yeah, so not a good week, but I did gain 1 game on you, but I'm still down by a lot because my record on the season is 20-27, and your record on the year is 29-18.
Let's freaking go.
That's pretty damn good, Shaun. That's pretty damn good.
Tell that to my accounts.
All right, we got a Thursday night football game. Raiders at Broncos. Are the Raiders? Raiders are road dogs by 9.5 points. The Broncos don't blow anybody out. They only come back in the fourth quarter, right?
Hate the number in this game.
Raiders cover.
You're going Raiders to cover?
Yeah.
I don't trust them enough. I know Bowers is there. I get it. He's back. Genty humming along. Denver's going to find a way. I know these Thursday night games have been wacky. Give me Denver to cover.
Oh,
I don't love that. It's going to be my least favorite pick of the week. I hate the number.
Raiders covered. Shaun, you got Broncos. Sunday, we have a 9:30. We have an international game, and it is going to be our old friend Daniel Jones. Falcons at Colts. Overseas, Colts are favored by 6.5 points.
How about the fact that Daniel Jones's career ended in Germany with the Giants? That was the last start he ever had, and now he's going back to Germany here with the Indianapolis Colts at 6.5. I want so badly after last week to kind of start to fade the Colts on the downturn. Sorry, Dalton Feely, but I hate the Falcons this year, so I'm going to take the Colts to cover.
I also hate the Falcons. And I think I've actually been burned by this a lot. Is every opportunity I get, I try and shit on the Falcons and just talk about how much I don't like the way that they're building their team, but their defense is actually better than what it was last year, and I didn't anticipate that. But I'm still going to go the Colts here. I'm still going to go the Colts.
All right, we're both on it.
Ravens at Vikings. Ravens are road favorites by 4.5 points. Shaun, what do you got?
What a fascinating game this is going to be, because you look at what the Vikings did last week. You're like, okay, maybe McCarthy just needed that sit down. Maybe McCarthy having his Bryce Young moment from a year ago where he sat a few weeks and coming back. The Viking defense getting a little healthier here. 4.5 is a tricky number. I'm going to take the Vikings to cover. I think you get a thriller where the Ravens win by a field goal.
Okay. I think that Ravens defense may be getting a little bit back into form. McCarthy was good, was okay the previous week. I think a lot around him went right for them to win that game, including a really good performance by that Brian Flores defense. I don't think it lasts for the second week in a row, so give me the Ravens here.
Okay.
I put this game on because as somebody who talks about the New York Jets probably almost every single day, if not every single day, Browns at Jets. The Browns are road favorites by -2.5 points. Shaun, what is the pulse of Jets fans after now having a million first-round picks over the next couple of years?
I think Jet fans are happy because at least at a bare minimum, they might be tired of doing this where they have to kind of reset. I think at a bare minimum, you just know you're locked and loaded with capital the next 2 years and you weren't going anywhere this year anyway. I think Aaron Glenn's a friggin' moron with the way he plays the quarterback stuff. I'm getting a little tired of his act. But if I had to say, I think it's like at least 60% of Jet fans are at least happy that they know there's some direction here. With that being said, they just benched Quincy Williams after trading his brother. I don't know if you saw that. He's not going to start on Sunday.
I thought they would trade him because they traded his
Which
brother.
is crazy. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Now you're going to sit him down. He has to earn his time back with this new coaching staff. And you lose Sauce. You lose Quinnen, obviously. I just don't know how you get up enough for this game with these guys. I don't trust Cleveland at all, but I'm going to take the Browns to cover here. And just how are the Jets scoring versus this Browns defense this week? How is that going to happen?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy that like I have feelings about the Cowboys and like how they acquired their players. Right. And I don't know, like what are they going to go from like the 30th defense to the 22nd, 25th defense? What is that going to really do for you? They're probably looking at it in the long run, maybe.
Yeah. And by the way, it should be noted the passing of Marshawn Nealand as we tape this as well.
Oh, yes. Terrible.
Horrible news. But if you mention the Cowboy defense, that, you wonder how that's going to affect them.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But even the Jets, like, I like the picks that they acquired, but you just traded away good players for first round picks that you're now going to have to replace.
Yeah. But I think that's more about having darts, for lack of a better term, at the quarterback position the next 2 years than anything.
Yeah. Want to trade up or anything. Right. They're going to be bad enough that they probably won't.
They might have the first overall pick anyway, where they don't need to trade up. Exactly. And then they're taking Mendoza or whoever.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Browns here. Let's go Quinshon Judkins. Need you, pal. Need you for my fantasy. I just lost. Tucker Kraft went down. Mike Evans has gone down. And like my juggernaut of a team is no longer a juggernaut. Very sad. Patriots at Bucks. Speaking of Mike Evans, the Bucks are home favorites. 2.5 points. Shaun, I think I'm going with the Pats. Right?
Yeah. So this is where I start to play what is realistic about a team the rest of the year game. I think the Patriots are for real. I like the coach. I like the quarterback. And I think that the quarterback's good enough that this team in the coming years is going to be a factor to contend for AFC titles. I do believe that. I think they're going to have a massive offseason. That being said, they are 7-2. Yep. So like you have to ask yourself as you sit here in November, what's the end result of the New England Patriots regular season? Are they winning 13 games? Are they winning 14 games? I can tell you this, they're not going 15-2, and they have a Jet game left here. I'm going to take the Bucks to cover and play the game of, you know what, this is still like a 4 or 5 loss Patriots season. This is one of those ones they lose, and I think the Bucks cover.
I think May can burn Todd Bowles' aggression.
I think he can do it. I don't think it's a blowout by any means, but 2.5 is enough to bait me in and go a field goal win for the Bucks. I'll take it.
Yeah, especially in a shootout. Like, all right, Drake May can score 30, but I do think Baker Mayfield can score 33. So, and the Bucks are starting to get a little bit healthy. I don't know who they fully have come back, but they are starting to get healthy. I'm still going with the Pats. I like the matchup. I think that's the game of the week, by the way. And there's a lot of good games that I am honestly going to want to rewatch. I'm probably going to want to rewatch that Ravens Vikings to check in on JJ McCarthy. I'm going to want to rewatch the Pats and Bucks. I'm definitely going to want to rewatch this game. Rams at 49ers. Matthew Stafford, old man Stafford, MVP, leading the league in yards per game, leading the league in touchdowns. Almost the Giants quarterback, -4.5 for the Rams. Shaun, what do you got?
Little revenge spot for the Rams, who lost to Mac Jones and the Niners on Thursday Night Football a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens again. I'm going to take the Rams to cover, even after seeing that Niner team last week, still really beat up. This isn't the Giants. Give me the Rams to cover.
I think the 49ers cover, but I'm going to take this comfortably, even knowing that they could lose.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I'm going to take that pretty comfortably. I love what both of these teams are doing. And the way that Stafford is winning, like, did you see that no-look pass that he had to Devontae Adams last week?
Insane.
The way that he is winning, we talk about Caleb and look at his fastball, and of course you mentioned Mahomes and Allen and all the jaw-dropping stuff that they do.
Right, Dart, right.
But like the way that the way that these quarterbacks in the NFC West, and Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold are kind of leading this effort of just really winning with your eyes and winning with processing and just knowing where to go with the football. And not to say that those other guys aren't as well, but it just looks so much different, but the effectiveness is the same. And it's crazy how Stafford is still doing it, man, is still slinging it. And we were sitting here in September being like, is his back okay? Is he done?
Right.
And now he's having an MVP-like season. Remember when he was the Giants quarterback for like a week?
Yeah, but Joe Shane definitely wanted Jaxson Dart. He didn't try the trade for Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah, definitely didn't try and give everything up for Matthew Stafford and then give him even more money than what he's getting right now. Steelers at Chargers. This is the Sunday Night Football game. Chargers are favorites at home by 3 points.
I'm taking the Steelers, man. Joe Old out for the year. They're trading for Penning. The Chargers offensive line a mess. And the Steeler defensive front, I think, finally got cooking versus the Colts. Give me the Steelers.
I don't know where Penning's going to slot in, like left side or right side, probably left tackle. Do you know who's starting for them at right tackle?
It's an old friend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an old friend.
Is it? It's not Bobby Hart, is it?
It is Bobby Hart. He came out of retirement and.
I was trying to remember which one of the giant misfits was starting for them. I was going to say Matt Parrott, and then I remembered he was with the Broncos.
We're in the big old 2025, and Bobby Hart is starting for a 6-3 Chargers team on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, so keep an eye out for him. TJ Watt versus Bobby Hart. Get ready. And this is probably the game of the week.
Wait, did you make a pick?
I didn't make a pick. That's a great point. Chargers -3.
Okay. Little oppo there for us.
The Steelers really going to go 5-4? Chargers -3. I already said it. Monday Night Football. Eagles at Packers.
Fun game. Fun game.
Love that this is Monday night, too. We don't get a stinker on Monday night. Packers are favorites at home by -2.5 points. I have a lot of thoughts on the Green Bay Packers. I love the Green Bay Packers. I think they should win the NFC. They are the most complete, talented team in the NFC. They should. But they just have these moments where I think they really severely play down to their competition.
Yep. Hopefully that's the case next week.
Well, yeah, it happened with Tommy DeVito. And what the Carolina Panthers did to Jordan Love and the Packers, they said, we are going to play zone coverage. We are not going to allow Jordan Love to beat us deep. We are not going to allow this an offense that should be explosive to beat us that way. What does Vic Fangio do? Kind of keep everything in front of you. He's going to allow you to run these 10, 11, 12 play drives, and eventually you're going to run out of gas and you're going to kick a field goal. That is the test that the Packers need to pass. Teams will eventually catch up to, we can just play zone coverage. We can just not allow the deep play, the big explosive play. And even if we give them a too high shell, they're not going to be overly effective running the ball when we're giving them too high shells. They need to get better in those elements. They need to string along those 10, 11, 12 play drives and get better in that element. I say that in Packers -2.5. Go Pack go.
I'm taking the Packers as well. Just think they're the more complete team right now. Bounce back.
But they have these moments, man. Now
they do. But they play up to their opponents too. They play up and down.
Team. They'll kick the shit out of the good teams, but then it's the bad teams that they play down to. So.
All right, we're in lockstep. And now, last but not least, Justin.
Shaun, what do you got? Giants versus Bears. Prediction, what's the score? Who wins?
Don't shoot the messenger. I think the Giants are going to win this football game, 29-23. I think Caleb Williams, they force him actually into a couple mistakes. This doesn't make any sense, and I understand that based on everything that's going on with the Giants. But I think Burns and Dart are going to lead a little pride onto the field on Sunday, and I think the Giants are going to have a good enough game offensively. Now, you might say 29. Well, we threw in the Graham Gano injury, going for 2. I think that's how you get a clunky number here. 29-23, the Giants stun us and actually win a football game on Sunday.
Bears 31, Giants 23. And the only reason why they make it they have a last second score that'll make it 31-23, and they only lose by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And we're going to have it'll be a sad day on Sunday yet again.
And we'll be here to recap it afterwards. I'm proud of us.
We went by another preview pod without talking big picture stuff.
It's great. Hey, we got to keep doing it.
We will eventually get to that point where we will be forced to only talk about big picture stuff on this show because nobody really cares about the game. But Jaxson Dart's still fun, and I think there's an opportunity to score. All right, appreciate you listening. Let's go, Giants. We will see you on Sunday after the game on YouTube to give our live reaction. And if we don't see you on YouTube, we'll see you on the pod. We'll see you in your ears for your podcast feeds. Let's go, Giants. See ya.
It starts today. Let's go, Giants! We win.